Today, I have some words of advice for you that I believe can be applied to a plethora of different situations in your life. And those words are stop stopping. Ooh, it's about to get good, y'all. Let's get into it. This is Looking for My Fit.
Looking for my fit, looking for my fit, yeah. Looking for my fit, looking for my fit, yeah. Looking for my fit, looking for my fit, yeah. Looking for my fit, looking for my fit, yeah.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Looking for My Fit podcast. My name is Jamaica, and I'm so happy that you are here. Whether you are a returning listener, you're here for the first time, I'm grateful that you're here. Okay. I'm going to always show gratitude. I appreciate the fact that you subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And I appreciate the fact that you keep coming back, that you share with your family and friends. It is greatly appreciated. I love seeing new cities pop up when you look at where people are listening from in different countries. It's very exciting. So thank you to all of you for continuing to show up. And if it's your first time, thank you for showing up today. I hope that you will stay. Okay, before I get into what I want to talk about today, if you've been listening to the episodes for this new year, starting in January, I think. I don't think I put one out in December. Maybe I did. So anywhere between, no. Starting in January, because the first episode of this new year was New Year, New Chapter. Then I've been literally looking for my fit in lots of different ways, whether it is clothes or finding a hobby or trying to get my makeup life together. I'm just, I'm in a season, in a space where I am rediscovering, or not rediscovering, but discovering things about myself. Okay. My children are getting older, and while they do still need me and my guidance, and I'm still here for it, they don't need me in the same capacity as they did when they were tiny, which has left some space for me to explore and really kind of get to the core of who Jamaica is, outside of being a wife and being a mom, like just Jamaica as the person. So I've started out, it's all about small steps. We don't have to go, all willy-nilly at the beginning. We can take small steps and then we can progress. So I the clothes, and I started with workout clothes, which is with CRZ. Let me tell you something. Y'all need to start tagging me. And I mean, not so I can get something, but I'm saying, like, I would love to share more of your testimonials about the CRZ stuff. So many of you have bought it and messaged me, been like, girl, this is amazing. And you all have tried the different lines that I haven't. So within CRZ yoga, there are different types, just depending on the material. There's a naked feel, a hugged feel, multiple things. You all have done different ones that I haven't tried. My homegirl Jen, she got the bra, she got the shirts. My homegirl Nita, honey, closet is full. Okay. So I'm excited, but I would just love to hear, other thoughts and opinions on things that they have ordered. I would love to hear what you're thinking. So anyway, in addition to the clothes, also cosmetic wise, y'all, I used to be a makeup girl. Okay. I used to be a makeup girl. Never wore anything really heavy. So when I say makeup, I'm talking lips, maybe a little light foundation, a little eyeshadow, a little mascara. Kind of gotten away from that. I'm grateful because after I had my oldest, my skin went berserk and my hormones are out of whack and my skin broke out horribly. And I dealt with adult acne for almost 14 years. Breakouts, leaving scars on my face. I had a lot of hyperpigmentation, and I ended up discovering my girl Arist, who I have an episode with. If you go on back towards the beginning of this podcast, you'll see Women Who Went For It, Eris Dion. She helped me to heal my skin. I cannot even believe, even now, and I started going to her in 2020. I can't even believe how it looks now. It's 2024, it's 4 years later. So I said that after she healed it, I just didn't want to put a whole lot of makeup and stuff on my face because I want to keep my skin good. So when I'm talking about makeup, I'm talking about maybe a little bit of tinted moisturizer under my eyes, or not even that. I don't even do that. But I'm talking lipstick. But I know, like, if you can do something with your eyes, your eyebrows, your eyelashes, put on a little lip, boom, 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 pow. How you like me now? We look good. I don't have heavy eyebrows. Okay. They almost look like I tried something and it went wrong. They are barely there. Okay. And eyelashes, same. They are long enough to do what they're supposed to do, which is kind of bat things away from going in your eyes. They're a protective barrier, and they do that. You can't really see them though. But what I do know is that if you can kind of enhance your eyes, it can look like you wearing a little bit of makeup without having to wear it. So I am dipping my toe over into this eyelash world without actually getting the, what do they call? I don't know if you call them extensions, like the ones that you put on, but like you don't take off. Like you go to somebody and they put them on. They call eyelash extensions. I don't know. I feel like I should know that. I don't know. Anyway, without doing that, I'm just kind of exploring. So I had several people send me some suggestions for the eyelash clusters and telling me it'll be much easier to put those on. So I have those. I'm going to record it. I talked about that last week. It's just been quite a week. So anyway, I'm going to record those and try to fix this lighting. That was the thing that was holding me back. Want to do it, but you can't really see it. So I think I just need to get like another ring light or something that keeps it neutral to where you can see what I'm doing. But anyway, I will put that content out. I'm going to share it and let you see, am I successful? Am I not? Okay. So that is coming out. Trying to think, was there anything else? Okay, so that's where we are with that. I'm stopping there. We're gonna get this clothing thing together. We're gonna get these eyelashes together, and I will share as I go along in helping to pull those things together. All right. So at the beginning of this episode, like, girl, pull your words together. At the beginning of this episode, I said that I was going to give you some words that I feel like can apply to several areas of your life. And those words are stop, stopping. Now, y'all know when I give you words, I'm talking to myself. I am talking to myself. But let me tell you what brought this about and what made me want to share this. I have quite a few things, but the most recent thing is going to watch my youngest daughter, Peyton's gymnastics meet. So again, if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen where I've shared this. So we'll just, when we go to gymnastics meets, I'll share her results when we go. Well, Peyton first started gymnastics when she was around 5. Okay. She wanted to try something. Jordan had her things that, sports and activities she was doing. Cam had his things, and she just hadn't really found her thing. She wanted to try gymnastics. Well, I started out taking her, and she was just doing like, the little recreational classes. The thing about Peyton was, at the time, she was extremely introverted. She still has her ways, but she's more extroverted now. She just likes to really fill people out before you get the fullness of who she is. Okay. My girl has boundaries. So anyway, when she started when she was 5, it was a situation where she was going was not close to where we lived. It was close to where I worked, but it was not close to where I live. So in order to get her there, and because, Carlos and I are 2 people and the only 2 who had a license at the time who could drive, because Jordan was younger, I would have to leave from work, drive all the way home, which was not close. I had a pretty decent commute, turn around, fight traffic coming back in that direction towards work to take her to gymnastics, and then turn around and drive it again. So I would leave home in the mornings, make that commute to go to work, leave from work, go all the way back home so that I could pick her up, turn around and drive back down close to where I work. And then when it was over, turn around and drive back. Okay. I had to paint that picture. It's important. So one day she goes to gymnastics and the instructor comes out and she's like, hey, Peyton won't come out on the floor. And I was like, what do you mean? So she's sitting over there in the corner. She will not move from that corner. She's not saying anything to anybody. She's not going to go. I was like, okay. So I go in there. I ask her, what does she want to do? She's just like, I don't want to go out there. I said, well, come on, let's walk. Let's go out. Girl, she didn't even want to walk. Never mind you. She was tiny then. So I kindly picked her up. When I think about it, because she almost was like sitting in a ball. She didn't even unball herself. So I picked her up as is. And I said, now, Peyton, listen to me. Listen to me carefully. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. But what I need you to understand is if we leave this, we're not going to return. Like, this is not an easy trip to make. You know, sacrifices are being made. So I'm fine with it. I'm not going to fuss with you. I'm not going to force you to do anything. But if this is how we're feeling about it, we're going to have to make a change. I also need to add that prior to this, she was kind of in this place where someday she would be excited about going. Someday why do I have to go? Girl, because I'm paying. You are going to gymnastics. So we were already in that space. So on this particular day, I just had to make it clear. That's fine if you don't want to do it. I'm not mad. I'm not upset. I just need you to understand if we leave, like we're gonna leave permanently. Okay. So she was like, fine by me. We left. Gymnastics is over. Well, she decided later. So she tried some other things. She tried T-ball. That did not go well. Cam was playing T-ball. Carlos was coaching the team. Peyton wanted to be on the team. And Cam's team was the Yankees. So they were wearing the blue and white shirts. Peyton begged Carlos, can she please get on the team? He said, fine. She was too late to really get signed up for the team officially. But because he was a coach, we unofficially put her on. We went and bought her a blue and white shirt so that she could match, got her a hat and her little baseball pants. I'm going to have to post that picture so y'all can see. They were so cute. Anyway, we get to the first game and Peyton got put off the team in the game. Carlos put my baby off the team in the middle of the game. Peyton she didn't want to participate. It was her time to come up to bat. She is walking very slowly, dragging the bat behind her. She's picking flowers. She's on the bench, like upside down. She was like threw herself over the back of the bench. She's like upside down, legs in the air. Carlos is looking for her, and that's where she is. And he calls out to me, "Mate, she's coming with you." That's it. She's done. So she comes up there with me, happy as she could be. There was a little playground up there. She was like, oh, I'm done. Say less. I'm going to the playground. So that's where we were with Peyton and these things. Okay. So she tried that. She tried soccer. She was actually good at soccer because she has a lot of stamina. And I say she was good at running out there. Okay. It wasn't her sport. So we stopped. Well, then she decided she wanted to try gymnastics again. So like, okay, are you sure? Yes. So we started her out recreationally again. And then she decided throughout that recreation that she wanted to try to get a little bit more serious. So also, yeah, my husband is in the, hey, babe, he's in here. Yes, you can get what you need to get. He's walking around here tipping. What do you need? Okay. Y'all just hold tight. I'm going to get a knife. Just hold tight, y'all. Which one? This one? This one? Okay. Here you go. You're welcome. All right. Pardon that interruption. It's real life over here. It's cooking dinner. Who am I to get in the way of that? Okay. So anyway, we started out recreationally and she was doing good. And she was like, no, I want to do this more seriously. So I talked to the lady who owned it. And she's like, well, look, let's do this. We'll put her in here and let her start coming however many times a week. It was 3 times a week. We'll let her practice with this team. Let's see how she does. And we'll see if we think she's ready by the time the meets come up. So by the time the meets came, she was ready. So we started this gymnastics meet season. I felt like she did very well during the season. She was more disappointed because she wasn't scoring high. So she wasn't making it to the podium. So if you make it to the podium, first, second, third place, and then, you know, just depending on which meet you were at, some of them will go out as far as 6th place, and some of them will try to place everybody. So they'll call out your full thing. So we were going to these meets. Now, granted, again, excuse me, this is her first meet season. So we're going to these meets. She's competing against these girls, and there is, there are girls who are coming up on that podium every time. And in first place, it'll be the same name. And in first place for each event. And after the event, we had to talk to her because she would be disappointed that she didn't get a medal or that she didn't place. And we kept saying, Peyton, this is your first year, on a competitive level. You have to know that there's going to be a learning curve. Like, some of these girls have probably been doing this for a long time, and we're just starting your gymnastics career. So there's going to be a learning curve. Well, she was disappointed in, what she would show us. But then at the end of the season, we had the banquet and they gave away awards, and Peyton ended up getting Gymnast of the Year. And you should have seen her. She was so excited. We were so excited. But I love what the coach said was it wasn't about whether or not she had placed, and they didn't base it on how many medals you had. They based it on just your attitude, your sportsmanship, whether or not you were a good teammate, how you show up at practice. And I was grateful that they were acknowledging that. They're like, she comes to every practice. She comes with a great attitude. She's supportive of her teammates. She gives it 100%. Like, that's what it's about. So it ended on a very good note. And we were like, see, Peyton, it's your first year. And no, you didn't perform the way you had hoped you had. But like, now we build from this and look at what other people were able to see in you. Well, the next year we ended up moving. So y'all have listened to everything. Y'all know we moved. So she had to go to another gymnastics place because the other one, it just wouldn't make sense. It was so far. So we found another gymnastics place here where we are. So when we initially went, they were like, well, let her come in, fill it out. She can work out with the team, see if it's a good fit for her. And if it is, we'll go ahead and get her signed up. Well, she went in to go work out and she loved it. Loved the coaches, loved the team. However, she was working with a group of girls that were a level up from where she was. So even though she had a very strong foundation, very strong from her previous gym, there were some of the skill sets that she was missing in order to qualify for the next level, because there's certain things you have to be able to do. So she went to practice with them for a while. And initially we thought that she was going to be able to stay with this level. So she was so excited. I get to stay. I'm going to beat these girls. Oh my gosh, can't believe I got to this level. Well, then she comes home one day after practice. Carlos picked her up and she's so upset. And I'm like, what's going on? She's like, I have to move back down to the level that I was last year. And Carlos was like, he had talked to the coach, and the coach explained, like, she's such a hard worker. She's very strong. She has a great foundation, but we want her to have a successful year. We want to make sure that she really can master the skills from the previous level before we move her up a level. So we have this talk with her. We're explaining, like, listen, this doesn't mean like that you fail. You are good and you have done very well. It's just that we have some more things that we really need to master so that you can build your confidence in those areas and then move on to the next level. So she ends up going to the practice with the group that they've decided to put her with, which was the level that she was with before. She comes back home. She's so excited. She went from one thing to the next. She was so upset that she didn't move up. But then when she came home, she was like, I really like this group of girls. And I think this was good for me because I do know these skills, but now I can get stronger in those skills that I learned last year. Meet season starts. The first meet, she does very well. She gets, I think, a third place and a second place. I think she ended up getting a silver and a bronze. Carlos said, don't look at me. I don't know, child. Do you know when Peyton's birthday is? Okay, we're going to carry on. Okay, that's Carlos over here. Like, girl, don't look at me. I don't know those details. So anyway, she does well, and we're hyped. We're excited. So when she gets on the podium for the second place, because look, remember, we haven't been up on this podium before. She gets to step up on that podium for the second place, and she is hyped. She was like, oh my gosh, I got up on this podium. I'm getting ready to go for gold. I got a taste of it. I see what it feels like. I'm ready to put in this work. Y'all, when I tell y'all Peyton has showed out this meet season, The very next one, my girl got 3 gold medals. She got first place for, child, I can't remember. She got first place for 2 events, and then overall, because they calculate your total score for all 4 events. Overall, out of all the competitors, she had the highest score, so she got first place overall. So she got 2 gold medals, and then she got a 3rd gold medal for placing overall. And then, y'all, on this most recent one that we went to, my girl walked away with 4 gold medals. And on one of her events that she didn't even think was her strongest, but she's been working on, which is the balance beam, she got a 9.8. Y'all, she was right on the cusp of a 10. So she got first place in beam, first place in the uneven bars, first place in her floor routine, and then she got first place overall for having highest combined score, 4. So the very thing last year that she watched, as when they would call the first place person, it always seemed like it was the same person going up again and again and again. She was that person this year. And in first place, Peyton Richardson. And in first place, Peyton Richardson. We heard that 4 times at this last meet. In first place, Peyton Richardson. And with the overall highest combined score, Peyton Richardson. Y'all, what a turnaround from last year, not making it to the podium at all, to feeling disappointed, to then being like, okay, I've been working all summer and I'm ready to go up to this next level. And somebody saying like, well, we think we should take you just back down for one more year to this level. And then deciding to capitalize on that, get stronger and master those skills, and to come back and go from not being on the podium at all to 4 gold medals, and the one before that, 3 gold medals. Y'all, what if she had stopped? What if when she finished the meet season last year, she was like, this sucked. I didn't win a thing. I'm not good at this. I'm done. But she didn't. So she stayed in there and she came back, and she came back even stronger. And here's the thing. The skills that she had, yes, she had them, but she had an opportunity to go back and then master them. It's like having the skills is one thing, mastering the skills is a whole other thing. And because she has now mastered those skills, she's now going to the next level more prepared. So now she is in the space of working on next level skills. So she's advanced from that level. They're already doing the workouts to work on those skills. So next year, she won't be in this level anymore. She is absolutely going to the next level, and they've already started working on those things now. And some of those things, look, she came home the other day from practice and she was like, woof. Some of this is woof. It's taking a little more bravery to do some of those things. I don't know if y'all ever stood up on a balance beam before, but they are very skinny. And when you are standing up in the air, it feels like you are so high up in the ground. So, you're doing handstands and you're jumping, and so now when she's getting ready to go to the next level, she's like, okay, I'm very happy that I had an opportunity to master these skills that I kind of wanted to glaze over, so that when I go to this next level, I'll be even more prepared. So yeah, it's scary to her because she hasn't done some of these things before, but she's going to be fine because she has mastered the skills before. She has a strong foundation. And if you listen to one of my most recent episodes, was last week, where I talked about how I got that full scholarship and I wasn't prepared. I didn't have the foundation. I didn't have the foundation, which is why I ended up not being able to stay in that program. So if you need to go back and listen to that episode. I was talking about scholarship that I got for college into a program that I couldn't continue because I didn't have the foundation for it. So you have that foundation. Sometimes it feels like a setback when things don't happen the way that you expect them to happen. And then you have to redo something. But a lot of times I've learned that when I get to do something again for the second time, I do it better. And then I learn more and I become stronger. And now that foundation is super strong there. Very proud of her for stepping up and doing that. So now we'll go to the next level. But that also made me think of a time when I was doing CrossFit, and one of the program moves was the programmed movements or exercises was to get the sandbag over your shoulder. I'm also going to share that to my story, and then I'll add it to the highlights on the Looking for My Fit page. It was a 150-pound sandbag, and during the actual class, you're supposed to pick it up, it's a whole thing, and toss it over your shoulder. So I had done a lighter bag, but I wanted to do the heavy bag. So y'all know one of my reasons for working out, I like being strong. I wanted to do the heavy bag. So after the class was over, I stayed so that I could work on getting it up. So I decided to record it, and it is a great recording because it shows the power of perseverance, perseverance, and not stopping. So anyway, as I get this bag, I pick it up, I put it on my quads. So I'm lifting the bag from the floor. You have to squat down to kind of get your hands under the bag. First motion is to lift it and get it on your quads. And then the second part of that is supposed to be to use your momentum to stand up. As you're coming up, you take that momentum to throw that bag over your shoulder. Well, I kept getting to a certain point, and it would get like right there at the tip, and then I would come back down. And at one point, you can hear the coach who is coaching me from the side, and he goes, "Stop stopping. Stop stopping." Because I would get to the certain point, and I would just let it back down. And what I was realizing is I just didn't feel like when I got to a certain point that I could go beyond that. Oh, that's a whole word I just gave myself. Sometimes we'll put the ceiling up for ourselves. So you tell yourself, like, this is as far as I can go. This is as much as I can do. This is the highest level I can get to. So whenever I get to that level, that's when I stop. So he yelled to me, "Stop stopping." He's like, "You're picking it up. You got the momentum. And every time you get the bag right there, you stop. Like, why do you keep stopping?" So finally, he talks me through, and he's like, "When you pick this bag up, go all the way." So on the last slide on that post that I put up, and this was from 2019, still sticks with me. I finally get the bag up and tell myself, when I get to this point, I'm not going to just assume that I can't get it over my shoulder. I have to go up believing that I'm going to get it over my shoulder, and I have to use that momentum. And so on that last one, I come up, I don't stop. I'm able to use the momentum, toss the bag over my shoulder. Holla at your girl. Yeah. But I think that is something that we all will do a lot of times. We get to a certain level, and because we haven't been able to push past that level, we automatically or subconsciously stop at that place because we've never gone over to the other side. We don't know what it feels like, and we don't even think that we can get there. So we just stop. But I keep hearing Ship, who is the coach's name, saying, "Stop stopping." The only reason you're not getting this bag over your shoulder is because you stop right there at your shoulder every time. Why do you keep stopping there? Why do you keep doing that? When you get to that point, stop looking at it as a stopping point. Just look at it as a place that you're passing by and push past it and go. So I don't know what you may have going on in your life, but I know last week, I was talking about why working out may not be working for you. That's one of the reasons your workouts may not be working. It's because you keep stopping. How can you build a discipline for working out if you keep quitting? So every time you get a groove going, something comes up, you stop, and then you don't go back. You keep stopping. And so then you say, "I would try working out, but it don't work out." You haven't ever pushed past that point. I will guarantee you, if working out is something that you have tried to do before and you've been wanting to do it consistently, I will guarantee you, if you look back at all the times that you have, quote unquote, started over, that the length of time that you have worked out is about the same every single time. Get to about 3 weeks, get to about 4 weeks. You might even get to about 6 weeks. But there's a certain time that you get to where things start trickling off and you fall back into that familiar way that you were before you were working out. I guarantee you, if you look back, you see that those timelines are very similar. So it's not that you can't build up that discipline to work out consistently. It's just that you keep stopping. You keep stopping. And I know that you can apply this in a million different areas and situations of your life. You get right there on the edge. You're like, "I've reached as far as I am supposed to go. I shall turn around and I shall return." right now. What's that? You can't get to the destination. You're stopping along. Oh, was trying to come in over here. He said you can't get to the destination if you keep stopping. So if you're trying to get to Vegas, okay, let's talk about it. We're trying to get to Vegas, but you keep stopping when you get to the Midwest and turn around. Well, you can't ever get to Vegas if you don't push past the Midwest. We've got to keep pushing. So I don't know which area you may have going on in your life, but I know for me, and I see this all the time with people that I interact with who are working out, and they talk about, I keep plateauing. You keep stopping. You're not plateauing, you're stopping. I always hit this one place. I can't ever get past this. Y'all already know how I feel about weight, but I'm just saying this is what I hear. I can't ever get past this way. You keep stopping. How do you build up the discipline? How do you get stronger if you keep stopping? Stop stopping. Now, things come up, and y'all know, I know, life be lifing. Okay, life be rude sometimes. Don't care nothing about your little plans. Don't care about your workout. Don't care about you getting disciplined. Life comes in, does what it does. There will be times where things will come up, and maybe you do miss 3 days. You might miss 4 days. That stomach bug is going around, and it is trash. Caught that over Christmas. So I got knocked out the game for a little bit. That doesn't mean I stopped completely. Things will come up. And so though, when that happens, you regroup, you jump back in when you can. But I think a lot of times we get to that certain place. Been doing this for 3 weeks. I'm sick of it. I don't feel like getting up to go walk. I don't feel like going after I get off work. I don't feel like doing this. And you start trickling off, and then you make an excuse. Oh, I got this meeting after work. Child, I was up late last night. I need to get some sleep. Falling back into familiar ways. You keep stopping. But you know you want to build it. That's why you keep starting over every year. That's why when that weather gets warm outside and it starts feeling good, listen to me carefully. Y'all know for the new year, I completely support anybody starting their journey at any time. I'm just saying, for New Year, and when that weather gets warm, is when you start seeing everybody trying to, like, okay, I got this, I can do this. What if this year when the weather gets warm, you're already in it? What if you're already there, not starting it? What if that is like, you've been in it for a minute? You can start now. You can start today. You don't have to wait till Monday. You can jump in and you can start right now. The biggest thing is stopping. You can't get stronger, live heavier, be able to walk longer, walk farther. Can't do any of that if you are constantly starting over. There has to get to a point when you get to that place where you normally say, and you turn around, that you say, no, I'm going to push past. I'm going to be a little bit uncomfortable. I'm going to try something I haven't tried before, and I'm going to keep going. And let's see what happens when I do this. Now, please know, again, I'm talking to myself, and it's not even about working out. I've become very disciplined in working out because I love it, and I just have a deeper why for why I show up, even on the days when I absolutely, positively do not want to. Yesterday, I did not. Man, y'all talk about somebody who did not want to work out yesterday. That was me. Went to work. Sat there, watch other people work out. Wanted to roll right on out when my shift was over. But I stayed. And I was glad I did. But that's what you kind of have to build up with that. You have to make the commitment and go. Having said that, I realized for myself with this podcast, when I started this podcast back in 2020, I was like, I want to start a podcast. I had a thing in mind. I'm like, I just feel like, whether it is I can give some information about working out or just life in general, or help give somebody, a good chuckle, whatever. I feel like I really want to build this podcast up. And there are people who started podcasts around the same time who have hundreds of episodes. This is episode number 82 for me. Now, I'm proud of the fact that I continue, every now and then I pop back in, But I had to tell myself, Jamaica, if you want to grow this podcast, if you believe this podcast really can over time have an impact, and you want it to grow, you gotta stop stopping. You ain't pop in for a week here and a week there and then disappear. And then go back to your normal ways. And y'all, it's the same thing. You know, I was talking about working out. A week will come and I'll be like, I don't feel like recording an episode. And then you know what happens the next week? Kind of don't feel like it. And then the next week, and then it turns into a long thing. Now, granted, these last couple years, life caught me all off guard. If you're like, what you talking about and you're new here, just go on back and have yourself a listening party. I can catch you up on all those things. But now I'm at that place where I'm like, if your goal is to really have a great impact with this podcast, you're going to have to stop stopping. You're going to have to make the commitment to show up. So y'all know why Carlos is cooking right now? 1, because he's good at it. 2, I don't like cooking, but I'll do it every now and then. I got about 4 meals under my belt that I believe are absolute fire. But 3, because I needed to record this podcast. So Carlos called. He said, what we having for dinner? I was like, spaghetti. He was like, ma'am, don't cook us spaghetti no more. Like your spaghetti is good, but we are sick of it. Like, girl, let's take it up a notch, find something else. But also, I was like, well, when I told spaghetti, he was like, girl, oh, I love you, but I don't want no spaghetti. And I said, well, look, good news is I haven't cooked it yet because I'm getting ready to sit down and record this podcast. So since you're by the grocery store, you can stop, pick up whatever it is that you want to cook. I'm fine with that, but I have to get this podcast done. And y'all, it feels good. I'm proud of myself because I've made excuses so many times for why I need to cook. Oh, I need to wash some clothes. Oh, so-and-so has something going on. And I'll find a reason to give myself a pass to not sit down and record the episode. But I was just like, no. So today, again, I went to the grocery store. I dropped Peyton off of gymnastics. I went to the grocery store, bought the stuff that I was going to get for the spaghetti. Got that, came home. No, and then I came home, I dropped the stuff off. Went to go pick Peyton up, came back, and I was like, getting ready to cook the dinner. And I said, no, don't do that, because you're going to cook dinner. And then as you're cleaning up, you're going to end up finding a way to put off recording this episode before you pick up one pan. Sit down and record this episode, and then we'll do it. So then he called me and I was like, hey, bro, lucky for you, I'm getting ready to sit down and record this podcast anyway. So you go ahead and buy what it is that you want to eat for dinner, and I will support you with that. Again, I'm not just saying it to you. I'm saying it to me. Stop stopping. You cannot make forward progress if you don't take a step forward. If you keep stopping, how do you move? How do you move? So that thing that you've been doing, and I keep coming back to working out because that's like what the thing that I see the most. I know you want to make the change. I know you want to make it a regular part of what you do. I know you want to show up regularly. In order for you to build it, you have to stop stopping. And I shared before, motivation is so fleeting. I'm in the gym every day. Every day. And I still have to not only talk myself into it, but I have others around me who will be like, girl, go in and take that session. I'm like, you are correct. You are correct. That is what I'm going to do. That motivation is fleeting. So you're going to have to forget motivation. Some days you do feel motivation, capitalize on that and jump in and go get it. But on the days when you don't feel like it and you could find a way to not go work out and you think you have a reason that will justify you skipping it, don't. Stop stopping. This is a year for all of us to keep going. And I'm telling you, on the other side of that is the goal. If Peyton has stopped last year when she wasn't getting up on that podium, and you have to realize she was going at all of her practices were at least 3 hours long. She was going 3 days a week. So we're talking about 9 hours of practice a week. And I'm talking about hardcore. When she get home, take a shower, knocked out. Hardcore physical activity for 3 hours at a time, 3 days a week, and then go to the meets and then not make it to that podium. She could have stopped. But because she kept going, she kept getting stronger. So even though sometimes we're not seeing the thing that we want to see, but that doesn't mean that what you're doing is not working. So no, she wasn't getting up on the podium, but every time she stepped out on that floor at another meet, she was getting stronger in her skill set. Instead of her having to really think about certain things were becoming muscle memory for her. And so she was getting stronger. Her core is getting stronger. Her skill sets are getting stronger. She's getting tighter on them. She's getting more confident. And then this year, boom, turned around, gold medals everywhere, clank, clank, because she didn't stop. So y'all, on the other side of that space where we keep stopping is the very thing that we've been wanting. It's there and it's waiting, but we got to stop stopping. So my challenge for you this week, challenge for myself as well, is when you get to that same little spot where you normally cut it off and you turn around, push past it this week and see what happens. And then just remember, just because, you're showing up and you're not getting that exact thing that you expected doesn't mean it's not coming. It just means that you might have to keep, preparing and getting a little bit stronger, but you want to be ready for it. Want to be ready for it when it comes. In order for you to do that, you got to keep going. So y'all, don't stop. Keep going. Get to that place, push past it, and show up for yourself, okay? Well, y'all, I'm about to go and see what my husband has cooked for dinner. And I'm about to sit back and enjoy this thing. But I hope that you will have an amazing week. Don't forget, head over to Instagram. Follow me at Looking for My Fit. That is the Instagram handle over there. And make sure that you subscribe to this if you've not, to make sure that you don't miss any episodes. And more than anything for this week, keep going. Don't get sidetracked. Stop stopping. I'll see you next week. Listen, I can't have you all missing out on episodes. I appreciate you all being here, and I want you to stay here. So before you leave, go ahead, click that subscribe button so you'll be the first to know when the next episode drops. I'll see y'all then.